Hola, hola, hola guys, it's me and I am so sleepy. I just thought I'd just let you know, but you probably don't care. So today I'm going to be showing you a very easy, quick fall look because fall is among us. Yesterday was like pretty chilly, so it was definitely fall vibes going on. I actually had a friend of mine who saw this very simple look. She loved it so much and asked me to actually do a video on it, so I'm going to do a tutorial on it. So it's going to be a very simple look. It's going to be kind of like a you know, light pinky mauve type of eye with a nice dark lip. Once you get a dark lip, I just love how it just transforms any look for fall. So for this look, and you can use whatever palette, but I'm going to be using, only because this happened to be the palette I was using, the Carli Bybel palette from BH Cosmetics. I know, super duper old, right? But I still have it, I still love it, and I still use it. So you know, these days I'm trying not to abuse it as much. So yeah, this isn't sold anymore. And I do have her new palette, which I have not gotten to yet, but hoping I can get to it soon. So I'm just going to use this palette just for reference, but you can obviously use any similar colors, you know, that you will have in your room or whatever. So I've already done my face and I'm baking and all that, so we're going to just get into the colors. Okay, so I'm going to be taking this smaller type of pencil blending brush. This is the Morphe R39. This is a kind of smaller brush than what I usually use because I want to just concentrate everything into the crease and then blend it upwards. So I'm going to do what I always do with all my looks. I just always take the lightest shade over here. So if you have some type of bone shade or a beigey shade, you're going to just use that. And I typically just apply this all over my eyelid, and I don't know, I guess I've always done that, and I just feel that it just finishes evening out my eye and all that stuff, or my eyelid rather, and it just makes it even nicer and smoother. So this will be personal preference, but I always do it no matter what look I'm using, you know, no matter what look I'm doing. Just too early. Okay, so I'm gonna go into now into this lighter color here. Well, it's a little bit darker than obviously the first one. I'm just gonna use that as a just transitional shade. Okay, so I'm gonna take that with the same brush. This brush is gonna pretty much be the only brush I use, hence the word easy and quick. So I'm going to just start adding it as I go. So I'm starting it out on the corner of my eyelid, and then as I do that, I'm just going to start blending it into the corner, and I'm going to start adding. You're going to see me dip a lot into here because this is an old palette. So the colors, you know, it's not going to perform like it used to. So definitely going to have to add a lot of color just in case. In case you're wondering. And I'm just, again, taking it right here in the corner. And I'm just going to start blending it. I like to open my eye just to see where I'm blending it. And you're just doing small circular motions. Okay, so I've laid on that little bit of color. So now I'm going to tap into the color next to it, which is a little darker color right here. So this is like, to me, like kind of like a mauve brown, mauve type color. That's going to be a little darker. And I'm going to do the same thing, adding here. Again, I'm going to be dipping in a lot because this is an old palette. I found it in my drawer, so I decided to pull it out and start using it. Like, I know it's old, but you know, I loved this palette when it came out. I don't know if any of you were able to get it when it came out, but I absolutely loved it, and it was like my everyday staple, like work, hang out, you know, going out, this was the palette that I used all the time, because it was just, you know, it had the perfect everything. It had all the colors, you know. It was buildable. Now, like, it's really got to be buildable now. But, and you know, then it had the bronzers, you know, which I didn't really use because not bronzers, the highlighters. And I only used like 2 of the highlighters because the other 2 were just way too dark for me. I used the other 2, which are these. I used them as eyeshadow actually, because they were just way too dark for my face. Alright, so I'm going... Alright, so now I'm just building up that color, and I'm just slowly blending it into the crease. So I'm not really going to exaggerate too much on this eye look. I want to do it as similar as I can to how I had it yesterday, which is when I used it, or when I wore it rather. Okay, so I'm gonna go start adding up color. So I'm going to start adding these 2 colors. This was a little bit darker. Same brush. And again, the same thing. Whew, that's crazy fallout. So as you can see, I'm using the same brush because I'm really not doing anything different. I'm just building the color, and so you can see now that the color is really building up. So I just want to build it up and then just put it a little bit into the crease, lightly blending into the crease. A little bit of windshield wiper motion. I'm just doing, you know, those little circles to blend the corner. So now I'm just not only building color but building the shape of the eyeshadow. And now I'm going to go into a darker shade, pretty much the darkest shade that's in the palette. Okay, whew. So I'm going to be dipping into these 2 shades. These are the darkest ones in the palette. And again, the same technique. Outside of the lid. And then you're going to start just little circles, and then you're slowly building up the color into the crease, and you're lightly blending it so that you build up the color, because remember, it's always safer to start little by little and building up than taking a whole bunch of color and putting it on your eye, and then when you realize it's too much, you can't take it off. So when in doubt, well, actually never when in doubt, always. You know, unless you're really confident in, you know, using super dark colors, which, you know, this really isn't the case. These colors really aren't dark like that. But always start a little bit and then build up. I think that was another reason why I like this palette, because you really couldn't do wrong with it. You really couldn't do mistakes. It was easily blendable, you know, and I was so sad when it was discontinued. But, you know, Carli Bybel has gone on to new things. You know, she has her new palette that's out now, and hopefully I'll be using that soon. Alright, so I'm going to finish building up this color. Okay, so I think I have it laid down how I want it, making sure that they are the most even that they can be, which I think they are. I also went back to this dark brown color over here, and I did just stamp a little of the color right on the corners. Okay, and then you're gonna want to have a clean brush just to soften out a little bit, not too much because you don't want to overdo it. So you're just softly blending out any harsh lines. And I think that's it. Anything here on the corners, you just want to softly blend out. Okay, so I'm going to, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little flat brush here. This is the Morphe M124, and I'm just going to put a little bit of the shimmers. I want to put some on the lid. It's gonna be not too wonderful as far as pigmentation goes. I mean, there is pigmentation, you're gonna see it, but it's not gonna be a super deep amount. So just taking this light shimmer over here. It's kind of like a very light champagne-y color, and I am just pressing that and then blending it a little bit in the middle of the eyelid. Doing the same thing over here. And I'm also going to be taking this kind of yellowy, it's kind of like a goldish shimmer, and I'm also going to be mixing it with these colors down here, because again, those are highlighters, but they are too dark for me. So I'm also going to be using that, and I'm going to just take that into the corner over here, and I'm also going to be putting it in the corner of my eye, so I can go ahead and get that highlighter going there. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my original brush, and again I'm just going to go over again so that there's that nice gradient of color, and just to soften out any harsh lines on the lid, because I wanted to blend nicely with the shimmer colors that I just put. Okay, woo, and that's about it. So I'm going to take out powder and all that, line, take out the eye boogies. No, the eye boogies are still there. Let me clean myself up. Okay, so I cleaned off the powder and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take this little small brush here. This is the M431, and I'm just going to put a little bit of color under here. Not overdoing it, but y'all know that my eyeballs, they cry about anything. My eyeballs just boo-hoo. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the colors that I was using. So I'm going back to that light, like mauve pinky type color. And I'm just putting that under here, just a wash. And then I'm just going to go into the darker colors. And the darker colors I'm going to be putting closer to the lash line. Slowly bending that out. And then, so those are two colors, and then I'm just going to go ahead and get to the darker burgundy mauve color that I was using. That's also going to go close to the lash line. And then I'm going to take the brush that I was using to apply the shadow, and I'm just going to use that a bit just to blend it a little bit. Watering. This is why I don't do this. I mean, really the key, well, for me, is when I'm doing this, I have to take my time, but you know, for the sake of this video, and I don't have a lot of time, I have to be out of here in a half hour, so I don't really have time to sit there and like wait for my poor eyeballs to stop screaming and crying in their private agony. I just don't have the time for that. So all right, so the eye aspect, or the eyeshadow, is pretty much done. I'm going to go ahead and use mascara liner. I'm using the same Hank and Henry, what is it, Stick With It, which I really like this eyeshadow, this eye liner. But again, it's not as intensely black as the Kat Von D is. So I gotta pick up the Kat Von D anyway. But anyway, let me go finish this up. I'll be back. Alright, so I lined, which I did a small wing for this look. Because I just wanted something softer today. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm not going to put bronzer or contour or anything. I'm actually just going to take some blush and put it along this line. I'm gonna take these out. I'm gonna mix these and see. You know what, maybe I'll just stick to this mauve-y type pinky in the middle, and not do the other ones. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just lightly put this color over here. Just going in there and just get just a soft amount of color that's just gonna go along this line, and then I'm just gonna do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just doing this while my mascara dries. And let me tell you, y'all, I have been using the Lancome Genifique, the serum and the eye serum, and I have to tell you that I have definitely noticed a difference. My skin just feels better. It just feels more illuminated. I have been putting it on my eyelashes. They actually feel a little bit thicker. I put them on my eyebrows, which I don't know if that would do anything, but but that's what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to use the highlighter that is actually in the Carli Bybel palette, and you know, kill two birds with a stone. So let me take this nice highlighter brush that I have here, and I am dipping into this lighter color that is here because I like that color, and I'm dipping into that. I think I put a little bit too much blush, so I'm just gonna have to go back with some translucent powder and just go over that a little bit. I just feel like I might have put a little too much, but anyway, so I'm just washing this highlighter because it's not a heavy duty, you know, super shiny, sparkly highlighter. It's something that is kind of subtle, which is kind of like what I'm going for this look, but it does illuminate, and that is what I like about this highlighter. So I'm just going to put some of the Cupid's bow. So if you have a highlighter that is, you know, has kind of like those pinky light reflex, it would probably be similar to this one that I'm using right now. Okay, and I have a little bit of translucent powder here, so I'm just going to take this brush right here. This is the Morphe RGB, but you can just get whichever, you know, powder brush. This one has, the bristles are a little bit dense, so you can tone down a little bit the color. I don't know, because I just feel like I may have put a little bit too much blush. It may be in my brain, but you know. Yeah, because I'm not going to be bronzing or anything today. Alright, so you could put on lashes, not put on lashes. I'm going to put on some lashes, and then we're going to do the lip. Okay, lashes are on. I'm just going to go ahead and put some translucent powder, as I always do, to the places where I am greasy. Here you go. Alrighty, and now we're going to go into the lip. So for today's lip, because I love this color, this is from the Sofia Nagard by ColourPop, or ColourPop by Sofia Nagard, whatever. So this is her lipstick kit, which will be in, it will be restocked in December, I believe December 4th, if I'm not mistaken. So today's color we're going to be using is Mrs. Norris, and I just love this color, just so you can see. Beautiful, so pigmented. And there you go, guys. So here is the final look. Very simple fall look. I really like this look because it's very simple and easy to do, but it just looks really nice and elegant. It looks like, you know, a lot of effort was put. Like I said, the key to everything is just blending. I think I have too much bang over there. But yeah, the key is pretty much just blending the colors all together, but I just absolutely love it. I think just what pulled everything off was this lipstick. It's really a beautiful lipstick. So if you get the chance, when this is restocked again, I'm going to just 100% recommend to you to get it. I did do a video on this collection, and I will link below. I will link it below this video for you to check it out, just in case you did not see that video. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and this look, and I will see you in the next video. Adios.